Yeah, before we get into it, I think this is an important thing, and this might be the opening for the episode here. What hero title did you guys pick, and why? Michael?
I chose Avatar. It was the most expensive one, and gold had little to no meaning to me. And I don't know, when I was looking at my character at that point, when I chose a title, I was already pretty tattooed up with magic symbols, and I was big. So I was like, you know what? I feel like an Avatar. I'm gonna go with Avatar.
Alex,
And
what title did you pick?
Chicken Chaser. Didn't change it. You're not getting my shekels. Hell no. I gotta gamble these shekels. Listen, if blackjack, you used to play blackjack, you kick chickens, you do everything that isn't the main story, and you just gamble your money away. Don't spend money on upgrades. No. We don't need better swords. It's all about having Skrilla.
Yeah. My hero title should have been Landlord, because that was what I spent most of the game doing. I was the real estate mogul who became a god.
Did you murder them to get their houses?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I broke into their houses and slit their throats, and then I immediately went outside and bought their house, and no one said a damn thing. Gentrification. It was wonderful. But yeah, I picked Ranger as my title, and then I later transitioned to Hood.
What up, Hood?
Yeah. Where the hood at? That's what I was doing. But in the arena, I was Ranger, and I had my one fan that was just like, Ranger, he's our man. If he can't do it, no one can. And he said it like 75 times. It was fucking ridiculous.
I had a girlfriend once, but, well, I suppose she never loved me. Left me for a sewage worker.
All right! I'm a love machine, and I'm ready to plough the field of ecstasy. Oh, yeah.
I mean, she was a stunner. At least I think she was. But I also thought the trees around us were running around on little chocolate legs, if you see what I mean.
Everybody talks too much. It started with the whisper.
Get out of bed, lazy bones.
That's good.
The way of the warrior doth take its toll on a hero's face, and ere long women will fly and escape before he can give chase.
Your health is low. Do you have any potions or food? Or food? Or food? Or food? Or food?
All right, hello, welcome to Good Game Well Pod. This is the much sought after and much anticipated Fable Anniversary review. With me this week, or this 2 weeks, I should say, are Alex and Michael.
Hello.
So this week, the game that was selected was Fable. Particularly, we're all playing the Fable Anniversary Edition. But yeah, Michael, you're the one that chose this one. Any insight as to why you picked this game?
I just remember having a lot of fun playing it when I was young. It's just one of those Lionhead Studio games, you know, black and white. That guy just makes good games, I guess. And
Peter Molyneux.
Yeah, I wanted to revisit it as an adult.
Yeah.
Peter Monolix is not at all how his name is, but that's how I always said it as a kid. To where I'm like, oh yeah, Peter Monolix.
Yeah. Yeah. That guy rules. He's one of those, like, he comes off kind of as a grifter because he always says his games are gonna have shit that there's like no way you could put in a game.
Yeah.
But he does have a pretty good resume between Black and White and Fable.
He's good at hyping.
Yeah.
Almost as good as Liar's Todd. Almost, not quite.
Yeah. Not as good as Todd. He's not as much of a bullshitter as Cliff Bleszinski. I think Cliff's an amazing bullshitter.
What did Cliff make?
Gears of War.
Oh.
And then has just been a fucking pariah. Yeah, so Fable was a Xbox game when it originally came out. Kind of mostly, I'd say it's one of the only Xbox RPGs that I can recall for the original Xbox that was, an exclusive. I can't think of really any memorable RPGs from the original Xbox. The 360 definitely tried a lot more to establish its own niche in every genre, but yeah, in the Xbox it was the Wild West. It was like the N64. There were like no RPGs on it, so definitely it was a sought after game when it came out. That's why I ended up getting it. I don't know. What was your guys' first exposure to it?
Mine was probably the Xbox. I think Josh's. I want to say Josh had it, and I played it over there a lot. And yeah, kind of fell in love with it. It's just I don't know. It's addicting.
Yeah, there's something about it. There's something addicting about Fable, though. I agree. There's something like once I started, I was like, I'm beating this game. I'm getting through it. I couldn't put it down, even to this day, which is fascinating. Alex, what was your first? Oh, sorry. Yeah, Alex, what was your first exposure to Fable?
Well, I played more of Fable 2 because that had a dog and Xbox Live, and you could just jump in and jump out. And then this is probably my first time with Fable 1.
Oh, okay. It's definitely less good than Fable 2, I feel like. Combat and like gameplay wise.
Yeah.
Shows its age a bit more. The combat in Fable 2 I remember being a lot more satisfying. So yeah, are you guys ready to get into the Wayback Machine and enter 2004/2014?
Oh yes. This is gonna be a dual year. I like it.
Yeah. Well, we are doing an anniversary, but I do feel like we're obligated to point out what was going on in 2004 since that was my first exposure to the game. So, Fable originally came out September 14th, 2004. So happy recent birthday to Fable. Would you guys like to venture a guess what the #1 movie at the time was?
Spider-Man 3. What year was that?
Okay. So Spider-Man, this was the year of Spider-Man 2, but it's not the #1 movie at this time.
It's that Doom movie. 100%.
It is a video game movie. That is my hint. It is a video game movie. It was #1. September 14th, 2004.
Video game. I feel like that should narrow it down a lot.
It's a giant hint. I've probably talked shit about this in front of you openly a lot of times.
Is it directed by Uwe Boll?
It's not an Uwe Boll movie.
Well, I have nothing.
It's a video game movie. It's live action.
It's a live action video game movie. I feel like you guys should be able to guess these.
All the movies I'm thinking of are like 90s video game movies.
It was directed by the guy who directed Mortal Kombat.
Is it a Street Fighter movie?
No. The guy who directed Jesus Christ. The guy who directed the Mortal Kombat movie went on to direct a very prolific video game movie franchise that went, I think, longer than any video game movie franchise ever did.
Oh, is this the year of the Resident Evil movies?
Oh.
It was a specific one. Would you like to guess? Do you know any of the subtitles?
Resident Evil 2.
It is Resident Evil 2. The movie 2. It's kind of like Resident Evil 3. Apocalypse, Michael got it.
No, it was Apocalypse.
Yeah. So, congratulations, Michael. Would you guys like to guess the #1 song? I don't think you will guess it. I will say that.
I will pass.
It was Chocolate Rain.
I think that's a little later. It was Goodies by Ciara. That said, I do think you can guess the #1 rock song.
Is it Godsmack?
Not Godsmack. That is a good guess.
Is it
It is. I think you. I will. Here's my hint. I think you can guess #1 and #2.
Green Day.
I think you can guess the #1 rock song and the #2 rock song. I have another hint if you guys.
And
is it no, that came out earlier.
Well, at least say it.
Well, it's like I was pretty sure it's it's an MCR song, but I was like, no.
No, it's not MCR. It's not MCR.
Is it Sum 41?
No. I'll give you a hint.
Is it Offspring?
No.
Nickelback?
No. Would you like a hint?
All right, what's this hint? Let's hear it.
So the music video for this song, for a lot of 12-year-olds, which I think we all were at the time, was a lot of 12-year-olds' first exposure to anime.
I don't know if this is anime, but is it like Sunshine in a Bag?
No. I can't believe you guys don't know that. It's like one of the most famous music videos of all time.
And it's like anime-ish, eh?
Yeah.
It's a rock song.
Yes. Rap rock. If that's not too much of a...
Oh, God. Okay. No, it's in the end.
No.
No. Is it Linkin Park though?
It is a Linkin Park song. It is a Meteor Linkin Park song.
Oh, it's fucking Faint.
No.
How's
2
Black
tracks
Done.
later. 2 tracks further down the CD.
Oh, well then it's
Hit the cut.
obviously the song with the sick wood instrumentals.
That's nobody's listening, Alex. You shot right past it. Go back.
Crawling?
No, crawling was a hybrid
Meteora.
theory. Oh,
Figure
guys are killing me.
0.07. I'm not gonna guess none.
It's right after that. Oh, I had way too much faith in you.
It's bleeding out. No.
No, that's for
No,
the next
that-
album.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know.
This is brutal.
Albums? Oh,
I
hope
feel
I've
like
heard this song.
you guys should get it. You had definitely heard it.
Well, of course it was off the album, but I already guessed the name. So
I only know 5 Linkin Park songs. It's Numb. It's Paper Cuts. It's What I've Done. It's In the End. And it's Crawling.
I don't know. I don't know another way to give you a hint
and-
without just giving you the name of the song.
Let's see.
It has a gerund in it. It has an ing. It starts with a gerund. It's 3 words.
I have zero idea. I've named
You got-
3 songs off that album. My brain took a collective shit.
Crawling
It's-
in my... No.
We already said crawling wasn't it.
It's the other one.
It's Breaking the
I don't know.
Habit by Linkin Park. Breaking the Habit by Linkin
Oh.
Park.
Boo.
Why are you booing? Good song.
Breaking the Habit.
It's a fucking banger. It's an all-time
This
banger.
is a tough one.
I think you could guess the number 2 song, but now I don't know. Okay, so the hint for the number 2 song is that it has a very similar name and similar lyrics to a Crossfade song that we reference all the time.
It must be so cold.
That is the name of the song, but it is by a different band.
Oh man.
Is it Breaking Benjamin?
Yeah, we go! Let's go! The number 2 rock song behind Breaking the Habit was by Breaking Benjamin, and it was so cold. All right, I don't feel as bad. We got the number 2 with only a giant game-breaking hint. So that was for
I
Fable.
quote Alex, I am not going to guess Numb.
I
It's
refuse to
not
guess.
Numb.
I refuse to guess. Okay, so then we got. So the Lost Chapters came out a year later in 2005. But then in 2014, that's when we got Fable Anniversary, which is the version we all played. Would you guys, February 4th, 2014 to be exact, would you guys like to guess what the number 1 movie of that week was?
February 4th. It was Valentine's.
6 years ago?
6 years ago.
I-
To this day.
The 3D re-release of Jurassic Park. Final answer.
It's a good guess, but no.
Ooh, 6 years ago. 2014. Trying to transport there.
Let me know when you guys want the hint. If you need like a guide, this is when I was playing the This is when I was playing the character E, unemployed destructible. February 2014, the low point of my character arc. If that helps. I do have an actual hint though, that isn't just.
It
personal.
was Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Ooh,
That
that's
was
good. That's a
July.
very good. That's a very good guess. I think that movie was like around at the time, but it was not the number 1 movie.
Let's see, was it a superhero movie? Oh wait,
No.
or what kind of hint were you gonna? Or,
Okay,
no, I
so the
guess you're
hint is this
unemployed.
movie. Yeah, this movie is in the canon of films where a legendary rapper plays a cop.
Mhm.
Hopefully, ironically, a rapper who is notoriously
is
detested
it,
police.
Is it 21 Jump Street?
No, but that is the cop. You've gotten the cop correct.
Ice Cube is a cop in a serious cop movie?
No, it's not a serious cop movie, but it is not 21 Jump Street. Ice Cube has portrayed a
Was
cop
he
in
that?
multiple
He
films.
was in that one. What's that called? Like Get
Get Rich or Die
Is it
Trying?
the one with with Kevin Hart?
Oh, Michael
that-
knows it, but he doesn't know the name.
Jump,
Get Hard?
Get no.
Not that
Wait, no.
I think they made a sequel to it. I think there's a second one.
Is it something with jump in it?
No. Ice Cube
Is
famously
it in
says, I'm taking you on the title of this movie.
Oh, Ride Along.
Ride Along.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
Strong
he's
word.
dating
Oh,
his
no.
sister. And
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, would you like to guess the number
What
one
a great
song?
movie. 10 out of
Yeah.
10.
Oh, do you guys want to reminisce on how good Ride Along was?
Yeah.
It's a better version of the movie Cop Out. Remember Cop Out? That movie sucked my penis. Not in a good way.
I do remember Cop Out.
But
Yeah.
what about 48 Hours? That's a good movie.
Yeah, 48 Hours is the original. But yeah, would you guys like to guess the number one song? I don't think you'll guess it.
14.
has the
LMFAO.
It has the word horse in the title.
Horse in the fire. Huh.
I don't know. I got nothing.
Horse. Oh, Dark Horse. Katy Perry.
Oh shit, Michael got one. Yes, we got it. What? All right, and then the number one rock song was some fucking shitty song by Avenged Sevenfold that I don't think we would have guessed. Shepherd of Fire or some shit. No one cares. Okay, so that was that is our trip to the Wayback Machine. Do you guys feel like you're in 2004 and 2014 simultaneously?
Alright, so 2004.
There's Resident
Yeah.
Evil movies with
Resident
Mila
Evil.
Jovovich.
Resident Evil Apocalypse. I don't think I said it. Was that the third one, actually?
It's the second
Isn't it
one,
the
but
second?
it's more like the
Was
third.
it?
Or, no, yeah, you're right. It is the third one.
Nemesis
No,
is
it's the
in it,
second one.
right?
Second one. Afterlife is the third one. No, fuck, I can't even
think
remember. No, Apocalypse is the second one.
Extinction? Or...
Extinction is the third one. You're right. Yeah, that's it. It goes
So
Apocalypse,
Apocalypse
Extinction.
has Raccoon City.
Yeah, it's Resident Evil 3, but it's the second movie.
Oh, okay. So that's 2004. We got that movie. And we got Breaking the Habit
And Breaking Benjamin. We were breaking
and Breaking Benjamin.
It was a
and
breaking
So
time.
Cold.
break stuff.
Those weren't the top song necessarily, but they're a top rock song.
Top rock. You know what other song was high on the rock charts at the time?
What?
God's
The Reason by Hoobastank.
Yes.
So yeah, this is kind of like this is like if we were doing the podcast in like Quentin Tarantino like disorganized order, this episode would come out before the Prince of Persia episode because this game came out 2 months before that. But yeah, so that's where hopefully we're nice and immersed in the time period.
Gun to the head, Mila Jovovich or Ice Cube. Which one do you want to bang?
That's a tough one. I feel like Ice Cube would be really, really mad if I didn't have sex with him. Be like, really, motherfucker? Really?
Piece of bad.
Yeah.
I would rock you.
Ice Cube just angrily.
Getting rejected
Just yeah, it's Ice Cube.
by a man.
Yeah, I feel like
Goes
Mila
to a gay
Jovovich
bar and
handled the
expects
rejection.
to get hit on but doesn't. Gets
Yeah.
super pissed.
All right, so with that, I think we're ready to get into Fable. Does anyone else have any other fun notes or anything before we get into the game?
Little notes.
No, sir.
I'm
Alright.
trying. I can't think of anything relevant to the game.
All right, well then, Alex, I believe it's time for Alex's plot synopsis.
Okay. Fable Anniversary. You are Batman, basically. So you're in a town. Your town sucks. You go around, you do dumb shit. You gotta get chocolates for your sister because it's her birthday. Everyone dies because bandits invade. And they're trying to get you because you have sacred bloodline, blah, 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 blah. Some dude shows up. He's got a lame-ass name named Mace. He saves you because your sister and your mom get taken away. He's like, hey, we're going to go to this Heroes Guild. You don't have a fucking choice, so we're going. Okay, Heroes Guild. You train. You learn how to not suck. You got to fight beetles. You got to do dumb shit. And you graduate. And there's Whisper. She sucks. Fuck her. I'm not going to talk about her for the rest of the thing because you're just going to kill her at the arena. Spoilers alert. Anyways, you get out of there. You gotta go do some stuff. Kill some wasps, beat them up. Bing, bang, boom. Bada bing, bada boom. Get your wasp stung. You go back. You're doing a lot of things. You kind of get called by the guy, and he always telling you about combat multipliers and fucking your health is low and blah, 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 blah. And let's see, you do the wasps. You go to a town. There's some traders. You go with them. You do some more quests. Maze shows up. He says a bunch of shit that I don't fucking remember because I was just smashing escape key, skipping all these fucking cutscenes. There's a forced stealth section. That shit sucks ass. You fight this bandit. Turns out your sister's not dead. She's there, and she has like a super tragic backstory where it gets her eyes cut out and all this crazy shit. And then you go do bitch work for maze. You gotta kill like werewolves and something else. And you go to the arena, and then there's the big bad boss. His name's Jack, and he's like, hey, you two kill each other. And you're like, all right. And then you kill fucking... I mean, if you don't, you're stupid. But anyways, that happens. You go do more bitch work. And, oh yeah, and then there's like a bunch of plot twists. Turns out Maze is actually working for Jack, but why he didn't give you over to Jack makes no sense, and I don't get it. But anyways, then you go and you punch Jack, and the game ends. Bada bing, bada boom. Also, you can own a brothel and terrorize townspeople. That's Fable.
All right, that's Fable. So yeah, I played the Xbox 360 release on Xbox One. What did you guys play it on?
PC.
Yeah, Steam PC.
I used a mouse and keyboard.
I fucking hate those controls on the keyboard, but I did use them.
The PC police over here. But yeah, so are you guys ready? Like, I guess we can just talk about the actual so you guys on the PC actually had choice of difficulty. I did not have a choice of difficulty. I played it on vanilla. What did you guys end up playing it on?
I played vanilla as well.
I think I picked vanilla, but I wasn't too sure with the controls, and I don't know how to go back and check because A is apparently to accept in the menu, and I thought you would just so I don't know which one I picked.
All right.
Well, there's an easy way to know. Did you have resurrection button?
Oh yeah, I had those. So yeah, that was the easy mode.
Which is called Chicken Chaser when you're given the choice.
Oh, Chicken Chaser. Yeah. Oh, you chase chickens, huh?
Oh, Chicken Chaser. Chicken.
Oh, it's such an amazing world.
People are constantly on your dick in that game.
Yes, everyone wants.
Like right when you walk outside, they run up to you. Oh,
oh! I never thought I'd see a hero up close. He's just as great as they all say. This is what it's like, huh?
Yeah.
This is what Ryan Reynolds' actual life is like when he walks around.
Yeah. I was thinking that's probably accurate to being a celebrity.
Yeah, which is an interesting experience. Anyways, so overall sound design and music, I love the music for this game. I think it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, music's pretty good.
Russell Shaw did the overall soundtrack, and the main theme was actually done by Danny Elfman, the great Danny Elfman. The voice of Jack Skellington.
Just had that movie on this morning.
And that's why Kingdom Hearts 1 is better than Kingdom Hearts 2. I rest my case.
You heard it here first, folks. But yeah, so I think the music rocks. I think the sound design is pretty satisfying, like the little crunchy noises when you eat food and stuff. I feel like it all just it's nice little mental triggers of how pleasant all the noises are.
Yeah, they definitely did a good job. They immerse you. I only had a couple problems with the sound occasionally, where it would cut into like a cinematic scene where it's like showing the hero bored and everything, and I wouldn't have any sound.
Oh.
But that didn't always happen.
Yeah, it's strange. I haven't had that happen.
I cannot confirm because I skipped 90% of the cutscenes.
So another thing that was going on with the sound is the voice acting, which I think is in and of itself. I think it's great. I played through it with my fiance. She was kind of like watching, and she fucking hated it. She's like, "Why does everyone sound so fucking annoying?" Yeah,
they do a really good job of you just not wanting to help these people.
Yeah, they're such like peasants. They're such peasants. Like you fucking peasants, get away from me. You're really as great as they say. It's like, leave me alone. Yeah, they're just fucking annoying, shitty peasants. I fucking love it. I love it so much. Oh, what did you guys think of the voice acting?
I thought it was very fun to listen to.
Yeah.
I mean, like, so they're very annoying to where you're like, okay, I'll help. Just, I also don't care if you die at the same time.
I feel like this game, for whatever reason, the voice acting it made such an impression on me that this is one of the games that like I remember every single line from it, which is not a thing I can say for like most other voice acted games. But this game, for whatever reason, I think it's just like the delivery. It makes like the lines like stick out, so I know they're coming. Like all the way from the first trader being like, "I'm a trader, 3 gold coins for a box of chocolates for your sister." Yeah, the guy, the prison guard, like leader guy who's like reading the poems. I remember those poems.
Oh yeah, I forgot we broke out of prison. I forgot to mention that.
That's okay. It's all right. We'll get into the actual big plot points, but yeah, I don't know. I find myself just remembering a lot of those vocal.
Yeah, but
cues
you
and stuff.
don't remember a lot of the main cast. Like most of the side characters are really good, but most of the main cast are kind of just like, eh.
Yeah. It's weird. I had such a fun time when I got to like certain characters. I'm like, oh, I remember this guy. Like I remember the Gravekeeper. I'm like, oh, I forgot you. I forgot, and then I saw him. I'm like, oh, this guy says funny stuff, and he like immediately died. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I had that happen too. I'm like, oh, he's dead. Oh well.
Yeah, I'm like, I thought I remembered this guy like being super funny. I don't know why. Like as soon as I saw him, I'm like, yes, this guy's the best, and he was just instantly dead. But yeah, I think it's charming. I do think it could probably get a little annoying. I think a lot of the like audio is super repetitive too. I don't know if you guys had this experience. I was in the
I think that's probably why it's stuck so well.
Yeah, that might be it.
Because it's so repetitive.
Yeah. And then also in the arena, I had my one fan in the arena who just kept saying the same line over and over again.
I remember having R's face back in the day. When
I always picked R's face when I was a lad.
R's face. That one was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, Avatar wasn't anything special.
It's very fun in a video game.
Oh, you're the Avatar.
Yeah, it's fun to have your wife in a video game call you R's face. It's nice to get that in the virtual world and the real world. It's nice.
My character was an incel. No one wanted him. No, I was kidding. No, he's very popular. He was very popular with the ladies. You just walk in, everybody's sleeping in the Heroes Guild, and it's like, all I see is hearts all over the place.
Yeah.
Like, all right. And you just gotta throw out a hey, or you just tell them to follow, and they'll follow. They should
have named the game Axe Body Spray Simulator, because this is what it's like when you spray yourself with Axe Body Spray. People just run up to you and go, oh, I think a wedding ring might be nice.
And then you buy a shit ton of fake wedding rings and just marry everyone.
You can have a wife in every town. Fun fact.
Yeah.
That is cool.
You
I
can
didn't even explore this time.
Yeah, you can sacrifice your wife to scorn.
Yeah, so that way you don't get old and decrepit from power leveling out your fucking ass.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Scorn, I remember him being better than Avo.
Yeah, Avo is a greedy motherfucker, dude. And Avo makes you pay more money the nicer you are. It's completely backwards. If you're like really nice, you have to pay like $350,000 to get like the Avo bonus weapon.
Well, you know what they say. Church is a place for the sinners.
Yeah.
Is Avo's weapon any good anyways? I didn't grab it.
No, it's not. It sucks. All the special weapons suck. Any of the master weapons with sharpening augmentations are better.
Well, yeah. Those are expensive. No, I'm just a poor hero.
You can literally buy them and sell them back to the same merchant for a profit. Infinite.
Oh yeah, you can buy entire stock. You can just buy someone out completely, and they'll panic, and then you just sell everything back for like almost double. And there's no cap.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I have 47 rubies, and you're like, well, we'll take the lot. And then the guy immediately is like, oh fuck, I don't have any rubies. I will suck your dick for rubies. I will pay you no price, any price, no price. Like why'd you sell these to me at all? And then you just do that to the same guy 75 times, and you're rich. It is how the stock market works. Yeah. I think that eliminates that loop. But yeah. So, anyways, I think we can get into the actual game now. You guys both use mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I guess the overall design of the game. Do you guys have any input on the graphics? I like it. Everything's like blocky and chunky. You're like 7 feet tall and massive by the end of the game.
Right. Well, I guess that depends on your stats.
Yeah, it's true.
If
but like,
you spec into speed or something, you get taller.
you get taller, but then like you're obligated to get, a little bit of health, so you don't get like one-shotted by shit. So, and if you like have general experience, which you should by the end of the game, no matter what you're doing, like the first few points, the way the scaling works, which I guess we can get into a little later, like you're obligated to take the first few levels and everything because the scaling. But yeah, so yeah, I really like the overall art style, original and in the Anniversary. I will say the Anniversary didn't look that much better, like cleaner, but a lot of it still looked kind of not up to par. I'm surprised this was a 2014 game because it didn't look as good as Fable 3, I felt like, which was an interesting thing. Yeah.
Well, I feel like a lot of what they did was they just kind of up-resed it.
Yeah. And that's
like, hey, you might notice this, but not everyone can tell the difference between 720p and 1080. Depends how big your TV is, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, then we get into the actual game. Fable. You like Alex said, you start out as a little boy. You adventure up through the Heroes Guild to avenge your family, with RPG mechanics being sprinkled throughout. You accept missions, which are your general quests from the Heroes Guild. You have the option of kind of doing sometimes you get the option to do a quest the evil way versus the nice way. Sometimes it'll be like protect the farmers, or you'll get the bandit version of the quest, which is like raid the farm. So I think the big selling point of the game when it came out was alignment, choosing which way you went about.
Oh yeah.
Everything. So yeah, that's really it. One of the cooler features I think is boasting. When you take a quest, you have the option to like say how you're going to do it and wager money to say you're gonna like, I'll do this quest with no pants.
Yeah.
I think that's a nice feature. Yeah, I think that's the closest thing this game gets to being able to like add difficulty internally, because there are definitely some problems with like the overall challenge of the game. But at least having stuff like that gives you something to kind of work at.
Yeah, get more renown, get more gold. Yeah. I think that's all you really get is renown and gold.
Yeah, it's like I said, I think the main pull of it is just to challenge yourself. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna do this mission without getting hit, which before a certain game-breaking spell is actually a challenge. But...
Well, I got confused by those boasts because one of them's like, yeah, do the quest naked, and then another one's like, do the quest with no protection. Which
you're not allowed to use the physical shield. Yeah.
I still was able to do it.
Oh yeah, one of the two stipulations, as soon as I turn physical shield on, it's like boast failed. I think it's the naked one. Yeah. But you could do the no hit one for sure.
Yeah, you do. Well, there's one that says like, yeah, don't take any damage, which you're allowed to use the physical shield. But if it says do the quest naked, it counts as no protection. Then boom, instant fail.
Yeah, so it's kind of a unique leveling mechanic in this game. You have 3 overall schools, and by using specific skills, you get specific experience. But then for beating enemies, you get a general experience pool that can go to any of the 3 fields also. So you're kind of like hybrid, able to get stuff just for the skills you're using, like kind of a Fallout or Morrowind. I guess more of like a Morrowind Skyrim type of thing, where you get the skills for the shit you use, versus like an overall general experience, which you can spend however you want for killing enemies. So I thought that was kind of I've always liked the way this game does it. I feel like it's kind of a satisfying experience system. I just feel like the game itself doesn't have a very good like roadmap to how long it's going to take you to max those things out.
Oh yeah. So if you're going for like general experience, when you're in combat, you get to get a combat multiplier, which basically as you do more damage, it multiplies your general experience gain, as long as you don't take damage, or else it brings you back a peg. But that, as far as I know, goes up as high as you can get it, which is probably 999. I don't know how high you guys ever got that bad boy, but right in the beginning of the game, I just abused the combat multiplier.
Yeah, I never really get it like too. Yeah, I never really get too far over 50, just because I run out of enemies most of the time. That was always my biggest problem. So, like, there'd be no enemies, and then once you have to switch zones, like you lose a pretty big chunk when you switch areas. So 50 was kind of always like my soft cap for it, but yeah.
Yeah, it took me a while to be able to reach 50 too, like pretty far in the story. I think once I got to the quest right before the last one, I was able to get to like 160.
Nice.
but that was just me trying to max out the total experience gain.
Yeah.
Which I did do, which was unnecessary because then I still had like a ton of experience left over.
Yeah.
Even after buying all spells.
Yeah, I will say, because coming off of the week where we talked about Devil May Cry and the incentivization of good combat where you don't get hit, I think combat multiplier fucking rules. I think it's a great way to incentivize you to like be good and you get like an actual reward. If the experience overall wasn't such a like contracted flow, I think it would be one of the better mechanics. And I do think it's something they do a lot better in Fable 2 and Fable 3. But yeah, I think in and of itself, in a vacuum, it's a great idea and an awesome thing, like for an RPG to have a experience multiplier based off of how well you do, which keeps you engaged even in non-challenging encounters. I think that's a really, really savvy little trick they did.
Oh yeah, no, that's probably where I spent most of my time. Was farming experience because I thought it was fun.
Yeah, it is fun because even
I'm like, how high can I hit this?
Yeah, even going back through old areas to fight wasps, it's like obviously the wasp can't kill you, but if the wasp hits you, you lose your combat multiplier.
That is true.
Yeah, like shit. So there's always like some like level of tension even in these like mundane encounters. I think that's a really nice little feature. Alex, how do you feel about the combat multiplier and the experience in general?
It's implemented pretty well. The game's not too hard. Where if you're like a troglodyte and you're just smashing stuff like me, you can just mouse one through most of it. And the game's like, I mean, you can, but don't you want this high bonus? Don't you want this cool stuff? And I'm like, nah, we're getting through this.
Yeah. I will say the one drawback to the combat multiplier, is like Alex said, if you're a troglodyte, you'll get through it. If you're not a troglodyte, and especially if you're using the physical barrier spell, which makes you not able to get hit conventionally as long as you have mana, you will be able to get experience potentially somewhere between like 10 and 50 times faster than the game kind of has the experience like leveled out. So you can like hit max level with pretty minimal farming, like very, very easily. Even playing through the main story, if you do it like efficiently, you can hit max level before you're finished with the main quest line, which is kind of nuts. I kind of just wish I feel like they could have protracted out the like the levels, just like add more levels in each one. A lot of the main like skills like strength, physique, and health, like a lot of those like main skills like cap out at 7. I feel like they probably could have just like pushed those a few extra degrees and a lot of those problems would have went away. But you can basically max out whatever your preferred combat style is and halfway through the game. And I think that it's kind of a problem.
Yeah, that's true. If they made it so it's like, oh, you need to max out your physique to be able to get this, but you need 1 million points or like 900,000 points, then you're going to want to abuse that combat multiplier.
Yeah.
You're going to want to try and get that.
Yeah, they just needed like 1 or 2 extra levels of like of just exponent to it to like make it actually worth it. Like they really could have gone a lot further than they did. Like they could literally have a level and a certain experience type where you're like, 500,000 for the final level, and then you get like a special perk and it makes it actually worth it. But they just like they cap kind of soft. There's never any you get like gestures, I guess, and as a thief you get lock picking and sneaking. Or like you get some gestures and some like type of stuff like that, like skills, but you never get like a new move really or anything by leveling up. So the incentives really just like you do like hard more damage in that type. It's all really like linear. I don't know. There's no nuance to it as far as playstyles go. You're a mage, an archer, or a guy who hits hard. And even if you hybridize it, it's just the combos of the two things. Like you're never a mage who specializes in fire. You could level only fire spells, but like again, there's no little nuance to leveling the 2 fire spells specifically that you get like a bonus to fire damage. There's like no nuance. It's very, very bare bones.
That's true. Because they could have at least added like a set of gear. It's like, hey, you do 50% more fire damage. Then you'd be like, all right, I'm just gonna use fire spell.
Yeah, well, even there's an option for speed, which increases how fast you attack in the guile tree, and then power is in the strength tree. But like, there's no like, it doesn't really affect play style at all. You know, like I wish like it'd be cool if you got different combos for being a finesse fighter versus being a strength fighter, or there was something to it other than just like the raw numbers being higher. I don't know.
Yeah, they kind of encourage you to do everything at that point.
Yeah, you're highly encouraged to be a jack of all trades because of the way the scaling works. But again, you can be maxed out in whatever stuff you prioritize very early on without trying too horribly hard. And I think that is a problem.
Yeah, that's true. There's these things in the game called demon doors.
Yeah,
which,
demon doors rule.
Are like special little like missions to open them, to where one will be like, hey, show me some love or something and I'll open for you, and you give them like chocolate.
One of them's like, you're too skinny, I only let plump boys in. So you have to be max fat to get in. That one's funny.
Yeah, those are cool. They always have like pretty significant rewards, I would say. I remember the very first demon door that I ran into was like outside the Great Caves, which is like one of the starting zones. So it's a very early on demon door, and it tells you to have more combat experience before I open. So basically, you have to get your combat multiplier to a certain number. It was like 14. When you open the door, you get this blade called like the Cutlass Edge Sword.
Yeah.
Which early game is super strong. And I don't know if you guys took advantage of that, but that like just put me like in easy mode for a good portion.
Yeah, I had a weird thing where I went to that door to do it, and I think the only thing that spawns in that area on repeat like walkthroughs is like a troll, right?
Yeah, like in the early on, hobs pop up, but once you get too powerful, the troll pops up.
So
it becomes difficult.
Yeah, I think I only ever tried it when the troll was there, and I could kill him without getting the multiplier at 14. So I like locked myself in. And then I went into the Hob Cave, which is the accompanying area, and tried to just get it really high in there and then run out, but it would always degrade too fast. So by the time I was able to actually get it, it wasn't that strong of a weapon for me. I missed it. Okay. I missed it.
It was definitely a challenge.
Yeah. But no, I think the Colossus or the demon doors are awesome. It's an awesome mechanic. Like a really fun, creative, like built-in side quest, which is also kind of like a world exploring thing. Really, really cool.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's one of the main like appeals of this game, just the atmosphere, the world building. I think so much of it's just so unique and fun and incredibly British. I don't think there's a lot of games that like reek of Britishness, but this game all the way down the line, like the humor, like all the way through to like everything about it. Like it's very much a British game, which is kind of cool. Yeah.
Just wearing British flag underwear.
Yeah. And so I guess, so since I think this game, one of the things like we talked about the experience is the customization as far as like what your character does in combat is really, really limited. But I think where the game tries to cover that is that almost every other aspect of your character is customizable, all the way through appearance, which is an in-game mechanic. You don't just choose how you look at the beginning. Like you have to, if you want a specific haircut, you have to find a barber who can do that haircut and then get the haircut. You have to find the card for the haircut to get the haircut. If you want a specific tattoo, you have to get a picture of the design, go to the right tattoo artist. So I feel like as far as customization, the game it has this constant underlying customization to it, where your character can be fat or skinny depending on what food you choose to eat to heal. You can be like a drunk. You can have renown based off of your evil. If you're an evil asshole character, you start to look evil, like you grow horns. If you're really nice, and like a good character, you start to get like good traits, start to like glow. You get a little halo. You become like a radiant angel type figure. So there's always like little mechanics under the hood that are changing the way the game presents itself. So a little less typical than an RPG where you just level up and pick stats. You have these like little underlying mechanics that are always kind of running. So I do think that stuff works really well.
Oh yeah, no, I think that those little small details too, with all like changing your appearance, like that affects how people see you, which potentially affects you being able to a wife, which is like a whole nother aspect of the game, because you can try and have people, sleep with you and stuff like that, and that's actually like stats that are kept track of.
Yeah.
So now you can be a player if you want, or you could sacrifice your wives, or are you able to? I forget. Are you able to like marry men too in that game?
I don't think you're able to marry men until the sequels, if I'm recalling correctly. And I think in Fable 2 you get the option to play as a girl too, and you're just able. I think they took the shackles off on that. I think it's when you're pretty railroaded to only being able to marry women, if I recall correctly.
Oh, okay.
You could definitely have a man fall in love with you. You're just not allowed to marry.
It's like The Sims.
Yeah,
The first
it's like real
Sims.
life. It's like real life when the Supreme Court gets packed in like 2 years.
That added a lot of playtime though. If you do choose to pursue like relationships in the game or hairstyles, you have to find them and all that stuff. Like just going through the main story takes a certain amount of time, but if you're actually exploring the meat of the game, then it's going to take a lot longer to get like 100% completion.
Yeah, the social mechanics of the game, I think The Sims is a good comparison. The social mechanics of the game are really like fine-tuned. I think that's, again, another place where this game kind of picks up, because as an RPG, I think it's definitely lacking in character customization, like from a combat standpoint, but it has all these little nuances that are going on, and the social interactions with their characters very much like The Sims. That stuff really, really helps, like, because you just be in town choosing to like fart in people's face and making them hate you, or like pose for people and making them like you, or flirting with them. Like those little things, like they really, really extend it out and make it like a much deeper RPG than it is. Like you said, like you can beat this game in like probably 4 hours if you like put your head down and just go for it without using like glitches or speedrun shit. Like you can legit breeze through this game very quickly. But there is actually a lot when you explore all these other mechanics.
Oh yeah. And they're fun mechanics too, to the point where even though I was trying to beat the game as quick as possible, I saw these mechanics available, like the relationships, all the hearts popping up, and I'm like, man, I should really come back and play more of this again. Even though I've done it all before in the past, it's just, I don't know, it's very enticing.
Yeah, I enjoyed kind of running back through, and like you said, when I was finished, I was like, okay, well now I gotta get all the silver keys and I gotta do all the demon doors. Even though like the game was over, I went back through and did everything just because there's something like really charming about it, and it's hard to attribute it just to nostalgia. I do think there is like a charm built into the gameplay that is really, really unique to this game. But yeah, wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, even the combat, like, despite it being pretty simple, it was fun. It's fun to kill a bunch of bandits, test your power.
Yeah, and this is in the canon of RPGs where it is full sandbox. You can't just run into a town and kill all of the NPCs in the town if you want, which I guess is the thing that doesn't have novelty now, but at the time there weren't that many games where that was an option. You do legitimately feel like a person who is in total control of their character and kind of do whatever you want. You break into someone's house and kill them, and then you steal the house and you rent it out to someone else. Like you have like, yeah, it's got like a legit like it's. I don't want to say it's like satisfying or like it satisfies like a god complex, but like shit like that is satisfying. There is stuff in video games that satiates.
It's always the evil part that's funner to play.
Yeah. These like morally. Yeah, these moral. This is the fun era of where like morals started to kick into games. Like you had KOTOR, Fable. You had these like really binary moralities, but still like really, really fun to play through. And that does give this game some replayability. Not a ton for this game. Playing through it as a good guy versus a bad guy, but yeah, you get a lot of that. So fun stuff. Alex, how did you feel about the moral binaries? What type of character were you? Were you a good guy or a bad guy?
I was more leaning towards the evil side. Just because I was like speedrunning it basically. Yeah. And I was like, well, this is XP, so but it's fun. Even if some of the moral quandaries are absolutely absurd, it's still pretty fun. Yeah. I think that's a lot of the thing about this game. Like a lot of it's ridiculous, but it's still like enjoyable.
Yeah. No, it doesn't take itself too seriously either.
Yeah, I think that's what helps.
Yeah, because even in that first bit, the tutorial bit where you're a kid just running around town, there's like the guy who's like having an affair. And you can choose to tattle on him for good deed or not tell on him for bad. There's a little kid who like wants you to like just smash some dude's stuff that you've been asked to watch. And if you don't, he's like, well, fine, have your good deed then. Like he just knows how the game mechanics work.
Yeah.
like shit like that is funny. I love stuff like that. But yeah, pretty like satisfying. Again, a game I like, really a funny game. I think that's one of the things that I think gets taken for granted. It's a fucking actually pretty funny game for being an RPG that has like an actual storyline to it. It is a very humorous game all the way through. got a lot of comic relief here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you play through the game. Final boss fight in the original game was Jack of Blades, a very like straightforward, relatively easy boss fight. In the Lost Chapters, which is included in the Anniversary expansion, you get like kind of a additional third act where you get to track down some stuff and then fight Jack of Blades in a actual like quote unquote traditional climactic boss fight where you fight like a dragon. So that was kind of the appeal of the Lost Chapters expansion, was you get that that extra bit where you get to fight like a satisfying final boss. I don't know how you guys felt about, like, there aren't a lot of boss fights in the game that felt super satisfying, or even remotely challenging.
I do think the final fight with Jack of Blades was annoying. I don't know what I was supposed to do to hurt him, but he was like just flying up in the middle, doing some multi-damage thing, which I had the physical shield spell, but it would drain like all of my mana instantly. I had like 70 mana potions, but still, I wasn't sure. I didn't know how to actually take him down, so I just kind of spammed magic on him, which did the trick, but I feel like that fight I didn't feel as overpowered as I felt in the rest of the game.
Yeah. Alex, how'd you feel about like boss fights and the overall epicness of the game?
Just have like as many cheap foods as you can and just keep smacking F2 and you're just gonna steamroll it. As long as you're eating, you can't die. But some of the boss fights are okay, but a lot of the enemies are kind of annoying because if you like roll, they'll get like a quick attack that always hits you, I feel like.
Yeah. Hitboxes can be a little wonk for sure. But I yeah, and that's kind of a bummer that with the Anniversary they didn't fix a little bit of the wonk. There's a spell called the multi-arrow spell, which should multiply your arrow damage, but ends up like all the arrows fire in like a weird arc that makes it less effective than just using your bow. So there's like little shit like that I kind of wish they would have tightened up, because I don't know, seems like really, really big flaws that they could have patched through.
Yeah, some of the spells are borderline broken.
Yeah, totally. I think that is the biggest problem with the game overall. It's way too easy. I didn't die a single time. I don't know how your guys' playthrough went. I played on the regular difficulty where there's an item that insta-res you called Resurrection File. But I never even used a single one of those. So the fact that like that's an option it's too easy of an option to be able to instantly res, but you don't even have to use it. Like the game it's a little too much of a cakewalk for sure. I don't know how you guys felt about that.
The beginning of the game was definitely harder for me, just because I was trying to get that combat multiplier thing. I was really weak in the starter sword, fighting a bunch of hobs, and they kept shooting fireballs at me, and I'm like level 1 and everything, where I'm like, I did use some resurrection vials, but I also ended up getting that super powerful sword behind that demon door, and then I never died again.
Alex, how was your experience with the difficulty? Like you said, you steamrolled it with food.
I pretty much steamed. I just was spamming food and I was just mouse one-ing and then rolling. Multi-strike is your best friend.
Yeah, multi-strike is much better implemented than multi-arrow. That is the melee equivalent.
Yes, the arrow did that. That would have been nice.
Yeah, that's kind of what you would think it would do. I spec'd into it a little bit because I was mostly playing like a finesse character. But yeah, didn't end up working out. So with the game being easy, the game's economy is like instantly exploitable and breakable too, especially if you spec into Guile, the finesse tree's mercantile skill. You almost immediately are able to buy stuff from a merchant and sell it back to the same merchant at a profit, thus giving you potential for infinite gold very, very early in the game, breaking the game's economy. An economy where you can't get anything that's too overpowered, but like Michael said, if you have access to will potions, you have access to health, infinite health via the physical shield spell, which you can spam and basically keep your combat multiplier maxed out, thus giving you up to, like I said, 10 to 50 times more experience than you're supposed to get at any point in the game. And it all just kind of snowballs out of control, unfortunately, and can make the game very unchallenging by the end. Being able to 4-shot the final boss is not great.
Yeah, I feel like they definitely dropped the ball with that difficulty, but I think it has its own charms. I think if you look past that, being able to like, it has some of that like Elder Scrolls charm where you can just kind of do You just do a bunch of side quests and
For a
do all kinds
game,
of-
yeah, for a game that doesn't have challenge, it's still like I still am so compelled to play through it, and it's still so satisfying to play through. And that, I think that speaks to it. I do think that that's definitely a drawback to people that aren't initiated. It's just you're not going to get a ton of like you're not going to like you're never going to get that like heart racing moment really. You might get a little bit of tension again, but it's just because you want your combat multiplier to be maxed out. It's not because you're really in any danger of like losing the game. You never get that adrenaline rush, and that's kind of I definitely could see that being a knock on the game.
Because I think that's one of the big appeals, at least to me, is actually feeling like the character that everyone calls you. They're like, oh, the avatar, oh, hero, big hero. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. I can actually take down these bandits, no problem.
Yeah, and
it's fun because I'll play games where you're like this big, strong guy, like God of War, and then you're getting your ass kicked by like some random skeleton, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was my topic for this week's like side talk was going to be difficulty in video games versus challenge, like this versus like immersion, because yeah, if you're playing as fucking Kratos and you're getting two-shotted by a skeleton, what the fuck? So that was going to be my we'll do that one for the next bit after we take the break, after we finish Fable, I was thinking.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I that was my pick based off this game, because I think this game, despite being easy, is incredibly satisfying. More so than a lot of hyper challenging games.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So that's
it's like a break. It's like relaxing.
Yeah.
It's like a Mosu game. Yeah, you just beat the shit out of a bunch of goons.
Yeah. It's like playing as Goku, but not
actually feeling like Goku.
Yeah, and that's kind of awesome. It's definitely worth something. But yeah, I could definitely see straight up if you were doing like a point by point like didactic video game review, you'd be like, yeah, this game's too easy, and that would be a knock against it. But apart from that, like, there's not too much wrong with this game. Playing back through it, like, I think the Anniversary Edition, and maybe this is because I'm playing the Xbox One like emulation of the Xbox 360 version. I definitely had some frame rate chugging and shit like that. I don't know how you guys. I didn't feel like it was hyper optimized. I definitely ran into some issues with that.
The only thing I ran into with the PC version was when I initially installed it. I installed it on not my main hard drive that I don't have like a page file dump virtual memory on, and I think that was giving me problems because I always run into this error when I launched the game. But then I reinstalled it on my main hard drive that has my operating system, and I never had that problem again. And then my frames were running very smooth, allegedly like in the 200, 170s and stuff like that. I don't know. It felt very smooth the whole time.
That's good. Alex, did you have any issues with performance?
None. It was nice and quick. Just some, I think I had one or two audio hiccups with overlapping voices.
I had 4 like hard game freezes on the Xbox version. A couple times at the loading screen, it would just stay at the loading screen for like 5 minutes, and I'm like, okay, something happened, and it would just freeze there. And then in the arena, especially, I had some really big issues when it would spawn large groups of enemies, where it would legit like chug. And one of the times on my arena playthrough, it froze, and I had to restart. Like 7 levels into the arena with the dude chanting the repeating Ranger, he's our man. So I almost went insane. It was close. But I do just love this game so much. And again, that might be like nostalgia. I might be treating this game unfairly because it's a game I love. But I enjoyed it thoroughly. So I guess we can get into the favorite and least favorite moments. You guys, did you have a favorite and least favorite moment, Michael?
Let's see, it's tough because I remember the arena very well from before I replayed it again this time. And I thought it was a lot harder or like longer, but it turned out to be very short, which was a little disappointing. I think if I had to choose a favorite movement, though, I really like the White Balverine quest. You fight like a white werewolf, basically.
Yeah, that's
like
cool.
silver augmentations. I just like the whole like even leading up to it, you follow these traders, and then one got a scar and other traders are like, oh, he's gonna change. Don't mind me.
I'm starting to turn. Get away from me.
That quest. I feel like the whole Darkwood section of the game, where you're dealing with the werewolves, was probably my favorite part of the game.
Yeah, I like that part a lot.
Least favorite part is gonna have to be when you go to prison and you lose like all your gear, only because there's like when the guard is reading his poetry to you, you're supposed to like steal a key, and I guess I don't know if there's a way to just know which book it's in.
No,
but I
don't think
the
there
wrong
is.
book.
I think you're required to miss it at least once. I think no matter what, it won't be in the first book. Because you do get like a hard built into the game cutscene of like, and then the hero was tortured for a year. Like I feel like it's always in it the second book at least. You'll never get it on the first. Try. I think that's hard coded if I'm recalling correctly.
I hope you're right, because that part made me feel bad when I ran into Jack at the end, and he's like, "Oh, you were in the prison a lot longer than I thought." I'm like,
"Yeah, I think that's scripted. I don't think that's you." But that part definitely
chose the wrong book, okay?
Yeah, that part definitely is hard. It's definitely like it's pretty like handbrake of the acceleration of the game up to that point.
That part, and then there's one other part that's kind of equally as bad to me. It's probably that part going to be my least favorite. This other part, I just kind of was impatient. It's when you're forced to sneak. I think Alex mentioned it.
I hated that.
Synopsis. I was like, oh, let me see if I can roll past and let me try and slow down time, but I couldn't. Eventually, I did do the slow down time, and I was just refusing to sneak.
If you're spec'd into archer, you can't just decapitate them all with a charged arrow shot and walk right through.
See, my problem was I did the boast where I don't kill anyone.
Oh.
Because I was trying to be like full on good.
Yeah.
So I had some bad decisions.
Normally, killing bandits gives you
I didn't kill Whisper.
Yeah. Killing bandits normally gives you a bonus, and you get a karma bonus if you kill bandits generally.
That's true.
So you'll hit max good faster.
I did it all for the money, I guess.
Yeah,
money.
I did it all for the
6,000
money.
gold.
Yeah. Alex, least favorite and least favorite moment?
Probably least favorite is just that sneaking section. I don't know why I had such a hard time with it. I felt like every time I would stand somewhere, they would just slowly list towards me. No matter what, like, no matter where I stood, these fucking assholes were just walking towards me. I don't know if I did something wrong or what, but I had to like reload the whole save, and then I was able to get through it. And then my favorite part is being a successful brothel owner. Nice. Otherwise mobile. Yeah.
Big pimpin'.
Or killing Whisper. Either or.
Yeah. So did we all kill Whisper?
I did not kill Whisper, unfortunately.
Yeah, my fiance told me not to. My fiance's like, no, she's been your friend. I'm like, she has not been my friend. She's been
wake up, lazy bones.
Yeah. Fuck you, a farm boy. You piece of shit from the farm. Yeah, Whisper is supposed to be like your rival character, but she's just an asshole to you the entire game and is mean to you. Like your entire family's just been murdered, and she's like, get up, you lazy piece of shit. You from the farm, you lazy fuck. Like she's so I fucking hate Whisper. I'm sorry. Like I don't know. She's really nice to you after you let her live.
Oh gee, I wonder why.
Yeah. At the end of the game, because that's one of the big moral decisions. You get to choose to kill Whisper or not, and then the final moral decision is you get to choose to take the MacGuffin Sword of Aeons and kill your sister or spare your sister, and that's like the main. Her. Yeah. I usually save my sister. Whisper's I think way more of a morally ambivalent choice because she is legitimately awful to you the whole game. That said, she never tries to kill you, and she probably never would have killed you. So I guess if you're going like straight moral like back and forth like that, like she would never kill you, I guess. So it's not fair to kill her, even though she's an asshole.
Well, I'm gonna kill her so she don't get this chance, stupid. And then I'm gonna kill her brother too, because fuck that guy. Yeah, then you kill Briar Rose, because fuck her too. Kill all the heroes.
He's immediately rude.
Yeah, who'd you guys pick as your wife? Did you guys? Boy. Yeah, did you guys take a wife? Who is your wife?
You gotta pick Lady Grey.
Yeah, you gotta pick Lady Grey because she makes you work for it, right?
Exactly. And she's got all that character. You know, all that character. You know what I'm talking about. Play the game.
Gray is my favorite color. Because it's in her name. That guy fucking rules. I fucking love that guy so much. It's legit like one of my formative game modes where I learned what the word Philistine meant and what the word opus meant. My lyrical opus is wasted on your Philistine ears. Back to the cell with you. Yeah, that's my favorite moment is that guy from the prison, the lead card. I fucking love him. I love that he is your reward for winning the prisoner race is to hear his fucking poetry. I don't know. I love him. I think that's when the game peaks comedically for me. So I'm a big fan. I do admit that is the least satisfying part of the game, the prison segment, but I really, really love that guy. Yeah, who'd you take as your bride, Michael? Sorry, I didn't mean to.
I did not have a bride.
Oh.
I was just like, nope, no time for love. I gotta be a hero.
Yeah.
I can't risk it. Can't get my heart broken.
Yeah. I normally take Lady Grey. I just took a plain barmaid on this playthrough. It's nice to take a plain barmaid.
Can you Whisper?
No, I don't think so. I think Whisper like leaves if you save her. There's a dialogue in Oakvale where she leaves the story.
It's like, sorry for being a dick. Peace.
Pretty much, yeah. But yeah, and my least favorite moment, it's a tough one. I do think it's the Hook Coast segment. Kind of like 2-3.
Maze or?
Yeah, right before you fight Maze. I just think that whole area is underused. And those Wraith enemies, I just feel like you don't do anything with them. A lot of the enemies up until that point, there's at least some like story explanation of why they're there. Like the Balverines, you get the fun White Balverine quest. The Undead, you get the quest in the graveyard. The Bandits, you get Twin Blade. And the Wraiths are just meh. They're just there. They're just ghost guys in the snow place. And then the game accelerates to the finish after that. So I feel like that whole area is just kind of a waste. They're not like a satisfying enemy. And that whole area is pretty forgettable, which is kind of a shame because it's in the middle of pretty well crafted segments. So not a huge fan.
That's true. Very easy section where they missed out because
they could have.
Like you said, everything kind of gets explained a bit. Yeah. But the Wraiths, it's just like literally for me, it was you get to Hook Coast and try and go to the lighthouse, and I have a red dot on my radar, and there's like some lady, and I shoot her with the bow, and she dies immediately.
That to me is where it's the least satisfying for sure. But yeah, that's Fable. Do you guys overall GG or BG? I think we'll all be pretty uniform on this one. Alex?
GG for gambling and titties.
Michael?
Yeah, definite GG. I was glad to see that even after all this time of not having played it, I still found it just as fun.
Totally. Yeah, big double G's from me too. Big thank you for picking this one. A classic, a game I absolutely adore. And still very fun to play through. A nice, enriching revisit some 16 years on.
Nothing like Warrior Within revisit.
Yeah, which they did come out pretty similar. It's pointless to mention now, but yeah, this game did sell way better than Warrior Within. It came out 2 months earlier, and it was the top selling game of that same September. So it just landed in a much nicer, more convenient spot, and to me, it was a better game. Maybe that had something to do with why it sold better too. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, that's the end of this one, I think. Unless anyone has anything else to say.
Yeah, I don't know if you. I don't think you ever mentioned Jack's voices.
Yeah, I didn't.
You were going to mention something about it.
Yeah, just like it's fucking pointless. Who fucking cares? Nobody cares.
What is this fucking goal? I don't know what I don't understand what the fuck goes on in this
He wants the McMuffin.
He wants the sort of.
Why the fuck does Maze save you? I'm sitting there and I'm like, what the fuck is any of this?
I think Maze over the course of your life becomes an asshole.
Oh.
I think
I'm gonna start working for him now.
I think he's a good guy in the beginning, and then he realizes he can't beat Jack by the end. If you read his diaries, it makes it seem like it's a fairly new transition. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because that always confused me. I was like, why the fuck? Like, you had me. All I had to do is be like, here you go, take him.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things where he gives up and thinks he can't beat the bad guy anymore because he doesn't believe in you, and that's the tragedy of Maze as a character.